Hello, my name is Essie Dodson, and I am a licensed Pennsylvania real estate agent. And I just wanted to give you some understanding about the seller's property disclosure statement. This is a document that the seller must fill out when selling their home, and they must give any information about their property and disclose any defects that the property may have. And this is also the document that the buyer will be signing, acknowledging that they received this document. This document is required by law when selling any residential property. Pennsylvania sellers must uh, advise potential buyers of the property's known defects that are not obvious, including structural damage or problems, any hazardous substances, before the sale is complete. If your home was built before 1978, then you also would have to provide a lead paint disclosure statement. The object is to make sure the buyers aren't left unassisted in their efforts in understanding the condition of the property and to discourage sellers from hiding any flaws or problems with the property. Pennsylvania Sellers Disclosure Title 68, Chapter 73, which can be found at www.legis, which is legis state.pa.us, states that as a real estate agent representing the seller, it is my duty to provide the seller with the property disclosure statement, and I must advise the seller of their responsibility under Chapter 73. The seller is not obligated to make any specific investigations or inquiries in the effort to complete the seller's disclosure statement. However, when completing the disclosure statement, the seller cannot make any representations that the seller knows or has any reason to know are false, deceptive, or misleading, and they can't fail to disclose um, any defects in the home. As an agent, I cannot help the seller fill out this form, but as an agent, I do have the responsibility to also disclose any material defects that I learned doing representing the seller. Information that is disclosed with that is disclosed in the seller's disclosure, if it's inaccurate prior to the settlement date, uh, the the seller is to, if the seller learns anything, uh, and the things that they stated on the seller's disclosure statement uh, ends up being inaccurate, then it is the seller's responsibility to alert the buyer and let them know of any new discoveries of defects, material defects. Um, so if the to give you some type of example, so if the seller has a buyer and they accepted their offer and now they are under contract, and the buyer does an inspection, um, and then sends over the seller their request for repairs, but they can't come to any type of agreement, and the sale uh, ends up getting terminated. That seller now has new knowledge of defects in their home, so now they have to do an addendum to their original seller's disclosure statement. By law, they have to do an addendum and update it by doing an addendum. And now the new buyer that comes and looks at their home, and the seller, before the seller accepts their offer, they have to disclose all these new defects that they've learned through through getting the previous buyer doing an inspection. So this is just to let you know just how important the seller's disclosure statement is, because it is a legal document. A lot of times when I have buyer clients, I will, before I take them out, the day before, I will print out the seller's disclosure statement for the individual properties, and I will send it to my buyer client so that they can look it over. Sometimes, what if they look over the seller's disclosure statement, they may deem that it's not even worth them going to go look at the property, because there may be something on the disclosure statement that is a deal breaker for them before they even go to see the property. To give an example of that is like the buyer wants gas, um, gas heat and gas stove or something like that, and they look at the seller's disclosure statement and they find out that it's oil heat for the home, and electric stove for the home. Um, or they may find out that the roof is really old and have not been repaired in years, and that may be a deal breaker for them. They won't even go look at the property. So the sellers, I just need you to understand. I want you to understand that the seller's disclosure statement is an important document, and a lot of times sellers do not fill them out completely, and they do not fill them out correctly. So buyers beware. This is why you need to get a home inspection, so that you can get an inspector in to look at the home, and they can basically let you know all the things you need to be aware of in the property that may be at end of its life or need to be repaired. This is, I always liken the home inspection to when we get our car inspected, and it gives you a whole printout of everything that could go wrong with your car soon, or that is wrong with your car. And it also, you also learn the vehicle by getting an inspection. That way you can determine if what repairs you want to do now, or that will have to do in the future. So hopefully this was very informational for you, and you got a lot out of it. If so, I am available for buyer's consultations and seller's consultations. You can reach me at 267-844-4021, or you can straight send me a direct message from whatever platform this video is posted on. And I thank you for watching, and everybody have a blessed day.